Hey everyone, I'm Lori Keating and this is Kidlit Meet and Greet. I am here today with Blair Williamson, author of Island Girls, Free the Sea of Plastics. Welcome, Blair.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you all so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, of course. We're happy you're here. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, happy to. I am originally from Richmond, Virginia. I grew up, born and raised here, and I do live here now. But I spent a lot of time traveling the world after college. I was a big athlete growing up and went to school to play field hockey at the University of Virginia. And after I was at UVA, I decided to kind of follow my passion of the ocean and started working on yachts around the world. So I'm a licensed, well, retired at this point, but I was working as a 200-ton yacht master captain and a PADI master scuba diver trainer. So that's an instructor scuba diver, a scuba diving instructor. And so I worked all over the world on different yachts and then lived in Florida for a while. Then was hired full time at Global Expeditions Group headquarters in Florida and have been working with them in PR and marketing since 2008, really. 2010, I was full time. So
Wow,
me.
gosh, you have done so much. I mean, what an honor, really. I mean, to do so much, and because most people don't ever get to travel the world. So super exciting. And I,
Thank you.
I can't even imagine being doing the captain of a yacht. I mean, how exciting is that?
Yeah, it was both very, very exciting, but also so stressful because I had the lives of, I worked for a brand called Action Quest. And so I was a captain for them and in charge of 12 to 14 teenagers on my boat, teaching them to sail and scuba dive for 3 weeks in the British Virgin Islands.
Wow.
And that's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of wild and rambunctious teenagers on your boat.
It sounds just so rewarding, though. I can't even imagine. Wow. So,
Mhm.
how did you get started writing for children?
Um, Crazy question. Also, for as long as I can remember, have always really loved books. Have always, particularly picture books. Um, and I've always throughout college, like, had a little birdie on my shoulder telling me, like, write the books. And I just ignored it for so long. And then kind of fast forward to COVID. And my husband, Sam, is so wonderful and motivational for me. He was like, Blair, we have time now. You need to write the books. And I was like, I just don't know how or where to start or what to do. And he said, look, if you don't start now, you can never talk to me about it again.
Oh,
So he was the one who really pushed me over the edge of like, okay, I have to give this a try. And because I had had at that point two daughters and reading picture books to them, I just loved it. And we're a screen free family. And
yeah.
so they don't have screens around. So I just took them to the library all the time and was getting inspired so much. And so he really pushed me. I found a mentor, Rosie Pova, through writing workshops, and she was so wonderful in helping me get started and figure out this whole industry that I figure out more and more every day, but it's a special place.
Yes, it's a journey for sure, right?
Yes. Yeah. The kidlit publishing industry is wild. I guess
Yeah.
publishing in general is, but
Not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
no, no, it's not.
So, where do your ideas come from?
Um, Gosh, everywhere. Literally when I least expect it, something great pops in my mind. And I always have to make sure to write it down. A lot of times it's when I give myself the chance to relax. In the beginning of this journey, I did Headspace for at least 5 minutes, the first thing I did every morning, which was very, very helpful to like clear my mind. And a lot of times, like stories that have been brewing or something, like I'd get an idea or something would click as a part of a story or a character. But I get a lot of my ideas from the ocean, my experiences working on boats, funny things that have happened while working on boats. That's my first book that I sold for traditional publishing is Birthday Bash, and it's about a bug on a boat. And it was inspired by us as a family living on a boat and having a bug in the galley in the kitchen, and how funny and outrageous it would be if like we started going after it with a hammer, and like what would happen, and just the chaos and having fun. So a lot of my ideas come from my past experiences. And of course, being a mom, my kids give me inspiration every day, really.
Well, that sounds so fun. I cannot wait to read that.
Pretty funny. I can't wait to see the illustrations.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to be great.
Yes.
So speaking of illustrations for Island Girls,
Yes.
oh my goodness, your illustrator, seriously, I could just like stare at your pictures, your illustrations all day long. I mean, they are just stunning. How did you find her?
So it's kind of a long story. I'll give a quick backstory. I did have a deal on this book on Island Girls with a traditional publisher that I spoke extensively about the illustrations and how I wanted them to look before I signed with them. And then they sent the first spreads that they had done, and they were clip art from Fiverr, and it was terrible, like horrible. And so I got my agent at the time to get my reversion of rights back immediately, and I walked away from that deal. Luckily, I was able to get out of it. And so I was really frustrated. I had lost so much time querying and negotiating with that house and that editor and everything. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to produce this book on my own. I know I have the vision, and I'm going to find an illustrator. And so my daughters and I spent an entire weekend. What I did is I posted in Kidlit 411 on Facebook, and in there's a group for picture book writers and illustrators on Facebook. There's two groups that I posted the job, and I had a deadline for a launch in February. I had an opportunity that I did not want to miss, keynoting at a conference for Island Girls, and they wanted to sell my books and everything. So I had a deadline of February, and I believe this was May.
Okay.
Very tight deadline in publishing.
Right.
Illustrations had not been started at this point. And I was like, I'm going to make this happen, and I'm going to get a team who will do this for me. So I essentially posted the job with a deadline of illustrations I know this is crazy, and I'm sorry, illustrators, but the deadline for this particular job, you would have to be able to finish it by end of August, early September at the latest, because then we'd have to get the books turned around for printing and be ready for. Anyway, so I posted the job. I said, please submit your turtles if you would like the job. And we had thousands of people enter.
Wow.
So we went through portfolios, and I started interviewing illustrators, and I was like, I'm a real person. This is really a big deal. I really want this to look a certain way. I would like for you to work with me on art direction as far as like wanting my kids to look a certain way. And Svetlana was like, hands down, once we saw her illustrations and her turtles, yes, my kids and I were like, there will be no other illustrator that will illustrate this book.
Right.
Like, if we can get her, this is going to be amazing.
Yes.
And she agreed to do it. She was wonderful to work with. We don't speak the same language. We had to
Oh,
communicate over like a
wow.
translation app.
Oh, wow.
I sent her tons of media of us as a family on the boats and the location. It's all set in the British Virgin Islands. Uh, and we get to meet each other this summer
Oh, how
in
exciting.
Germany.
Oh my goodness.
I
Wow.
know.
That's going to be just amazing.
Yes. So I'm flying over there, and Sadie and Josie, my daughters, get to meet her, and my husband and my family. So excited to meet her.
Uh,
So,
oh,
yeah.
wonderful. So do you
Mhm.
have a favorite spread or line that you want to share?
I do. So I have the book right here. The cover is amazing. And I will tell you, hats off to Svetlana for this. The cover of your book is really important because it's what gets people's attention or doesn't get people's attention.
Mhm.
And I get more compliments on this cover.
It's just
So this is for sure one of my favorite parts of the whole book. But on the inside, this spread here
love
is
it.
just so filled with detail. She totally captured it. I'm here with my daughters,
Love
and even the ripples in the water from their fins to the little braids in their hair and the
Oh,
camera for Josie. And then the coral, like the detail of
yes.
the coral is just in the turtles. So this is the spread that's kind of the point of the whole book of how much jellyfish look like plastic bags underwater. And this was such like an impactful spread for her to just, she nailed it. I was just so excited.
She
And I
did.
love it. It's just really cool. And then as far as a favorite line, um, Jackie Cruzy helped me on a writers conference weekend. She's a new agent. Y'all should check her
Yes,
out.
I
She's
know she
amazing.
is. Yes.
She helped me get this part right. Um, and it's when Sadie is freaking out that there are grocery bags and they look so much like jellyfish. And Jackie helped me. She was like, "You really need a punchline here." And Fig, the turtle, replies, "They look delicious."
I love it.
And that is really the impact. And I
Yeah.
have Jackie to thank forever for like pulling that out of the story. Because when I read this, I'm on tour at all these schools and speaking at all these places. And when I read the book, it's that moment that really clicks with the kids
Right.
where
Right.
they're like, oh my God, the turtle wants to eat the plastic bag very
Right.
badly.
Right. Right.
And so that it really is a punchline and really drives the story home there. So
Yes.
yeah.
That's great. So, what is your absolute favorite part about being a writer?
Oh gosh. I mean, I have become more and more comfortable with like being myself, I think, when you're in this community and surrounded by so many wonderful creators, like bringing out such magic for kids. It's like you have to just be okay with who you are
Absolutely.
and sharing your true colors, if you will. And I have like a really funny, quirky side to me that doesn't really show in day to day life. I'm a very like the captain and like the whole maritime side of me. I'm very rigid and organized and structured and very like goal oriented, always achieving what's the next step. But I have this very funny, very creative, imaginative side of me that comes out in my writing. And I really love that. I think some of my best books are the funny, wacky ones, and that's the first to sell, Birthday Bash. It's going to be crazy hilarious. And I've written a couple of other ones that are really fun and funky and cool. So
That's
I
awesome.
like being able to share that side of me that not
Definitely.
many people have seen. So
Great.
yeah.
So, what challenges do you face as a writer, and how do you deal with them?
Oh gosh. every day, every day. I mean, I'm like so uptight just thinking about the challenges because it's like there's just so many. And the biggest one is the signing off of control on a lot of things and the waiting.
Yeah.
This I don't know. I just literally yesterday morning woke up to a response from an editor that I submitted a story to that I haven't even worked on or looked at in 3 years. It
Oh
was a
my
rejection
goodness.
from 3 years ago.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
just I, as a person, have a very hard time wrapping my head around how it takes someone 3 years to reply.
Sure.
So it's not always that extreme as far
Yeah.
as like the snail pace of the industry, but a lot of people ask, oh, what are you working on or what's coming out next? Or, and I'm like, oh, I signed a deal a long time ago. It's been in Publishers Marketplace and, it's been announced, but it's like, so where's the book? And I'm like,
right. It's coming.
yeah. And like, I trust Michelle, my editor. I trust Taylor, the illustrator. I can't wait to see what they're coming up with. But like, I
Yeah.
don't have eyes on it. I would love to. They are going to share spreads with me like along the way, which is great. But that's like the production of a deal that's done. But like on the other side with my agent, Karen is doing tons of things. I trust her. She's doing wonderful things. She's one of the best agencies in the country. But like I have to wait.
Yeah.
And that is the number one frustration in as a writer is just the whole structure of the publishing industry is very frustrating as a type A person. But it's been good for me, I think. It's been good to like check it and be like, hey, like you can't control everything all the time.
Sure.
This is how it works.
Yeah, it's like it forces you to be patient. Like, because like because you don't have a choice. Like you can't happen any faster.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, all you can do is just keep creating opportunities for yourself. And that's what I go crazy doing is like creating all the different opportunities and then like expecting nothing and hoping for something. So
Well, your hard work pays off. That's so, obvious. You are definitely, I see your posts and I think, man, if I just had a tiny bit of her energy, I could be doing so much more. You're just like, you're everywhere, but it's a good thing. You are building your brand and, it's just awesome. And so it's a joy to watch you is what I'm saying. So
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's I think there's a lot out there if you chase it.
Sure.
And if I think a lot of this comes from my athletic background, the drive, the dedication, the ability to persevere, handle rejection. I don't look at queries or a rejection. I don't take it personally at all.
Me either anymore.
And so, like it's just a matter, I'm like, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of like, okay, who wants to work with this? Who wants to work with me? Who wants to produce something amazing? Like I have so many ideas and constant inspiration that it's just finding the opportunities and being real. I'm not for everybody, I'm not going to work with people who take 3 years to answer. Not going to work with me.
I know. I hear you. I mean, the longest I had to wait was 9 months for an agent to give me a rejection. And I thought, really, 9 months? Like, I think you probably knew when you first read the story, weren't a good fit, but I had to wait 9 months to hear no. I assumed it was already a no, but it's like that kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm like, if I was an agent, I would just, it's either yes or no, Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's hard. I know that agents are like totally overwhelmed, and so are editors, and the industry is changing so much. And
yeah.
I don't know, but it's always like, who's going to have enough time to like work? That's how we produced Island Girls.
Yeah.
And Gatekeeper Press, who I went with to help do the design and the production of the book, Rob Price is the CEO there. And I was like, I'm only going to work with you.
Yeah.
And we're going to make this happen. And, I want you to oversee it so that we can make sure there's no misses in communication. And he was able to get it out for holiday. So it published November 16th.
That's awesome.
And I had books planned for holiday. I think I did a huge book launch on like December 5th.
Oh, nice.
Which was crazy awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's like everybody wants that prime spot for publishing. It's fantastic. So I know you I'm sure you have, I know it's like, well, this question, like, do you have a big dream as a writer? I'm sure it's always evolving, right? Because like first you have a dream of getting an agent, then you have a dream of publishing. And as those things happen, do you keep adding to it, or do you have that great big huge dream?
Yes. So my husband calls this, you keep moving the goalposts.
Great. I like that.
It. And I'm like, I do, because as I achieve them, and I just keep bumping it out. So, I do have a traditional book deal that I negotiated or did myself. I'd like to get 1/10 with Karen. She's working on it. And I just want to get to a point where I'm kind of like, I walk into a Barnes and Noble and see my name, there on a shelf. That's the next like achievable one. I always want to make sure that I make achievable, realistic, achievable goals. And that is, I do see that because it's going to happen with Birthday Bash, but I want that section to be full of my books. Both environmental, climate fiction, funny, humorous. I want people to fall in love with the ocean and the magic of it, and have the playful, lyrical, beautiful experiences that I've had. I want kids to have that too.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know we already talked about your hobbies, you boating still, and anything else, traveling, I guess, right?
Yes, we travel a ton as a family. And so we want to keep that up. Writing, of course. I do still have a little bit of imposter syndrome. Like, am I really an author? Like, did I really write that book? Do I really have an agent? Did I really get a book deal? I do. I still feel that a lot, because I guess this has all happened pretty quickly for me. I think, of course, that's with a lot of hard work and time and effort, but I love I coach field hockey at the school that my kids go to, where I went. Sports in general, soccer, field hockey, swimming, but really going to the beach, hanging out with my family. I always love finding a really good cup of coffee. I love coffee. And unique coffee mugs. I actually have 2 next to me.
Oh, I like them.
I collect coffee mugs from everywhere I go.
That's great.
This is from Greece.
Oh.
This is a recent trip in Florida, but it's got turtles on it.
Yes, I see that. That's precious. Oh,
I did get my my deal I put on a mug. Oh, and I get a thumbs up.
I don't know where that came
from. I put my publisher's marketplace announcement on a mug as well.
How fun.
Which is fun. And so I definitely want to build that collection.
Yes. Oh, that's exciting. Wow, it's like open the cabinet and all your
which deal do I want to drink out of today?
Oh my goodness, I love that.
Which
So
editor do I want to have coffee with today?
fun.
Funny. Yes.
So I guess your book coming out, Birthday Bash. So that's what
Yep.
it's called, Birthday Bash, and that's coming out when?
Fall of 2025.
Okay. And do you have any other projects that you're excited about right now that you
I
can share?
have a ton of very exciting projects. Island Girls 2 is out on submission with
Oh, yay.
Karen. So the goal there is to hopefully sell the brand, the series.
Yes.
Um, and if not, I'll look at self-publishing or something. And distribution and all of that is like I have options A, B, and C, probably A to Z with that. But
Yeah.
Island Girls 2 is out on submission, which is exciting. There's so much demand for it. So I really want to try and like hit the market while it's hot. And then there's some other series that I'm writing. I am partially blind in my left eye, uh,
Oh,
which is crazy. I was born that way, and not a lot of people know about it. But I have one story that a couple of editors have requested. It's called Beach Senses, and it's a sensory experience of, just a day by the shore and how essentially, like, I feel like my senses are so much more heightened by the sea because of my blindness in my left eye. So my partial blindness like has led to my senses being a superpower a little bit.
yes.
So
That's a
that's a
fantastic way of looking at it too.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
I love board books.
Yes, me
Yeah,
too.
they're just
It
so
would be
fun.
beautiful as a board book.
Yeah. And it sounds like it would be a lovely one. I'm sure the illustrations even on that would just be beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, you have so much going on. I love it. So I'm going to switch gears with the questions. What's
Okay.
something that you can't live without and why?
Okay. I'm gonna go with two avenues to answer this question. First is the one that comes to mind is my baby blanket.
Oh,
I still sleep with it. It's ridiculous. My kids try and take it from me all the
aw,
time. It's crazy, but it's true.
that's
Um, her name is Bunky. So my baby blanket. But as far as like day-to-day operation, something that I can't live without is like something to do. Like if I
oh,
don't have a goal or like something I'm working towards, forget it. Like I'm like going crazy.
sure.
So I'm just a very goal-oriented person and produce a lot. And if I don't have something that I'm working on or like a contest or, a critique group, if like someone sends me their story or, I'm like, oh, yes, okay, I can work on this or, whatever. I have to have something to do. So a goal. And I always choose the writing industry. I'll
Yes.
leave the dishes, I'll leave the
Right.
house, I'll leave everything till later, as long as I can check off like one part of writing every day,
Yeah.
um, and I'll be good.
I can completely agree with you in that one. I'm the same way. I don't know. It's like I don't care about the laundry. I don't care. I just need to get this creative side of me out. That
Mhm.
that is definitely
Yeah,
something that keeps me going too. That's
I love
great.
that. Yeah, it's cool. It's fun to have found something that I enjoy doing that really I want to keep putting energy into.
Yeah, definitely. So if you could be any animal, which would you choose and why?
Ooh, 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 ooh. Great question. So this is interesting. So Spitlana, my illustrator, she sent me this for Christmas.
Oh,
And
that's so
I keep it on my desk every day. And you know how some people like kind of get into social media and like Instagram
Yeah.
for, my husband is golf. Like he books it reels for golf or whatever, not reels, but like just golf people. And I'm illustrators. I look at the illustrations of a book just mean so much. And these little mice, I'd want to be one of them.
Aw.
I really would. I would. I mean, they're just so
Yes.
happy. And a lot of the illustrators love drawing mice with a book, with a coffee mug by a fire, snowy. I want to be those mice. I really do. So, anyway, yeah.
Okay. Well, any advice that you have for new writers?
For new writers or just writers in general, I think is just don't self-reject. Email those people you think might be interested in your book and helping you out. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help. If someone says no, don't be like, oh, my life is over. Like just be like, all right, on to the next, like somebody's gonna say yes eventually. If you feel like your book means something to you, and if you genuinely feel like a child would enjoy reading your book. I mean, it doesn't have to have some major, huge message like Island Girl about plastic in the ocean. It could just bring a smile to a child's face. That's worthy enough for you asking the librarian, will you order my book?
Right.
Or just, anybody. So just don't tell yourself that you don't have what people want before you even put yourself out there.
That's fantastic advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this has been so fun, Blair. It's just been
fun.
I feel like that I already knew you just from seeing you on socials, but now I feel like we're like friends. So this is great.
We are friends. We are friends, Lori. And if I can ever help you, let me know. And there's a big PR, like a rock star course that I'm doing through writing workshop that I've been posting about a little bit. But I can, that would be a fun place for people to come and spend some time with me and ask a bunch of questions as well on the marketing side, book promo, things like that.
Definitely. Sounds exciting. So can you share your socials with everyone?
Yes. So on Twitter/X, I'm the Island Writer. And then on Instagram and Threads, I am the Island Writer 8. And the 8 is from the island that I grew up on, Figure 8 Island. And so that is why I am the Island Writer 8 on those channels.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who watched today. And we will keep following you in your exciting journey, Blair. And I just appreciate you coming on so much and sharing what you're doing and all about your exciting writing career. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you all so much for having me. And yes, please follow along and engage. And I promise I'll engage back and support everybody as much as I can.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.